Did it work? Let me see. Send. Oh, there we go. It worked. Hello, hello. Hi.
Hi.
Let me readjust this camera. There we go. How are you, my love? Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us. Now, if you guys did not know, we play TK Strand on 911 Lone Star. Yes, everybody, let's heart it up. Everybody say hello to our guest. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
I got very shimmery for you today for the occasion. What do you think?
You're drinking Orange Crush?
Yeah, I'm having Orange Crush today. What are you doing?
Having a good old-fashioned beer. So cheers to you.
Oh, cheers. Hold on. Yes.
Thank you.
Everybody, cheers. Cheers. I hope you are having a good old Thursday. We just missed hump day, but, you know, it's Pride Month, so every day, I was going to say every day's hump day, but, you know. All right. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to ask you a couple questions regarding, you know, your experiences on the show and Pride Month and just, you know, all over fun gigorama. So I'm going to start you with your first question. Now remind you, this is some of these are loaded questions, so prepare yourself. Think about it a little bit. So your first question is, in your words, what does pride mean to you? Hold on, can you guys see me? Are we frozen a bit? Is it frozen? Are we Frosiana? Let me see. I don't know what happened. Hold on. Let's try to reconnect.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you, but I cannot see you.
Can you see me?
Let me see.
Can you see me?
I can see a frozen you, but I can hear you.
Oh no. Hold on. I'm gonna try to get back in here.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry guys. All right, we're gonna try again. Everybody, hang tight with us. Technical difficulties. 1 second. Oh, let's try this again. We're gonna let him. I'm gonna send the invite. Fingers crossed. Technology, you guys. All right, we got it, I think. Cool.
Yes.
All right, we were a little re-cheers. Yes. All right, now we're going to go back. Like I said, I'm going to ask you some questions about Pride and show and all that good stuff. So the first question, like I said, in your own words, what does Pride mean to you?
Well, Pride has a quite a different meaning for me this specific time. It's my first time being out. It's my first time being out with the world. And, you know, I've been... Cheers.
We cheers, right?
I've definitely been...
Well, then, from me to you, happy Pride. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Happy Pride to you. And you know, I've been fully embraced. And, you know, it's been nothing but love and support. And I didn't expect anything less from the fan base. And, you know, surprisingly, my closest friends and family have been really supportive. So it's been a really magical time. And, you know, getting to sort of learn the history of Pride and why we are celebrating Pride and how it even got to this point. I think that's something really important to me is, you know, celebrating the people that paved the way for us to be able to do something like this and for us to be, you know, pretty free right now.
Yep.
Not everywhere, but, you know, in some places we are pretty free, especially, you know, California. It's a very open-minded state, so we're very lucky to be here. And it's also, I think, celebrating all of the work that we have yet to do and that we want to do and we want to get to. And I think it's a culmination of all of that, of, you know, the past, the present, and the future. And it's, you know, it's a really beautiful celebration. And I just want people to celebrate it every month, you know, every day,
right, right,
every year, you know, and we have so much work to do, but we should definitely celebrate all the progress that we've made so far.
Yeah. I mean, like I said all the time, I mean, Pride really is about celebration. It's being yourself authentically. And, you know, it's not just I think that, you know, it's nice that we do have Pride Month, but I think that it's always important, you know, especially for, you know, especially the two of us where like we obviously in the public eye, it's always important to be your authentic self because, you know, it's Pride Month is inspiring. It's all about inspiration, inspiring others,
Yeah.
not only that aren't out in the community yet, but people that want to be, you know? So
Yeah.
I think that Pride definitely is like all about visibility, inspiration, all of that.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to our next question. Thank you. So when you started your career, how was the industry in relation to the LGBT community?
Oh man, so when I started my career, I was around 17, 18 years old. So yeah, I wasn't very savvy with that part of the industry yet. And
For sure.
you know, I think I just started hearing about like Ryan Murphy projects, but I wasn't really immersed into it yet. And just this whole industry was so new to me that I think the inclusivity of the industry was so foreign to me, you know, and I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Was so I didn't have much experience with it at all in the beginning of my career, especially because everything was so new to me, you know, and my own feelings and my own sort of everything happening inside of my body and inside of my mind was so new to me too that I didn't really know what to do with it or who to talk to about it. So everything was so foreign to me, and yeah, it was way too new for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, thank you. That was very, very, very honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now, next question is, what has been one of your greatest takeaways from your playing your character on 911 Lone Star?
There's two things, right? So like personally, obviously, you know, it was one of the biggest things that gave me confidence to come out to the world. So, you know, it's just being immersed into that environment and working with people that are so inclusive and welcome and loving and understanding, you know, and being in a Ryan Murphy world, you're surrounded by people that, you know, understand this and are open to this, you know, they're pretty much the trailblazers for all of this. And so that side of it has been incredible and has taught me so much about myself. And then I think from a work perspective, you know, it's like TK is, you know, it's like winning the lottery when it comes to characters. He's a very noble, big-hearted, genuinely good person. And you don't always get to play people like that, you know? And he obviously, you know, has his flaws, but overall, he's a really good person and really cares about people and wants to just straight up save people, you know, and take care of people and to be loved, and he wants to love. And I think from an actor's perspective, that is such a treat to play. And
For sure.
I love TK. You know, I love him as a human, and I love him as a character, and it's really lucky and fortunate to play someone like that.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, it's very inspiring to not only you but the viewers to see you get to play a character that you really connect with. And it's overall, like, again, like we said, what we love about Pride Month is that it's super inspiring and you're getting to do something that's very inspiring almost all the time, you know? So our next question we're going to go with is, when was the first time you saw yourself on screen?
So I actually had this conversation recently. I did a
big screen.
I did a big panel about being out in television, and this question was brought up. And you know, me growing up, I didn't see a lot of bisexual characters on screen, and I definitely didn't hear about any bisexual actors. So for me, it was actually a different medium. It was music, and I remember Frank Ocean coming out like it was yesterday, and there was a really insane split outpouring of negativity and support. And I remember he was one of the first people that pretty much declared that he was bisexual, and he was, you know, he was a superstar at the time. And I just remember it like it was yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know anybody else that had heard that. So it wasn't necessarily the screen, it was more music. But, you know, he's obviously also on screen too. He's such a superstar. So I think that was the first moment where I was like, oh my God, like I see myself in somebody, you know, in this sort of industry that we work. And it was Frank. And I think that like just connected me with his music so much more. And, you know, a lot of his lyrics make a lot of sense to me and are very personal. Yeah. And so I think that's sort of the first the first moment. But you know what's unfortunate is there's still not a lot of bisexual characters on whether it's television or film. And you know, I'd like to, you know, maybe be a voice to change that, and or maybe do it myself. So I'd like to see more representation in that realm for sure.
Yeah. No, and again, it's nice when you're able to see yourself on screen, and it's really great that obviously you yourself play this character, and how you live your life. Obviously, you're inspiring a lot of people, because we didn't see people that were like us. I didn't see anybody that was like me on TV. I mean, obviously, the only thing I really had now as I got older was Drag Race, but I wasn't even into drag yet. But I mean, just as like a gay male, you didn't really get to see a whole lot of representation. It made you scared and confused, because, you know, it kind of forced you to say, well, is how I feel, is this right? You know, but now we have so many people out there that's showing it's perfectly okay to be yourself. And I feel like there is a lot more representation out there now, but like you're saying, the work always needs to be done. There's definitely a lot more.
Yeah, always.
We could see a lot more. So that's the thing. Maybe 2021's the year and going on, right?
Yeah.
2020. We'll keep it moving. All right, my next question for you is, why is LGBTQ plus education and support in the school systems important? So why is LGBT, you know, support in school systems important?
I mean, think about it, you know, it's like everything we know as humans, we either learn it in schools or from our parents, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like trickles of influence from, like, you know, friends, but it's mainly in school. I mean, think about how much time we spend in school the first 18 years or 19 years of our life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if we're not educated in those super crucial moments of like evolving and being able to really soak in knowledge, then it could be really harmful. And you know, it's like it should be crucial. It should be a crucial part of the education system, because first of all, it's all over the world, right? It's people all over the world, and we need to learn about all different kinds of people, because all we have is people. And if that's not a priority in school, then I don't know what should be. You know, it's like, because school is supposed to, I guess, groom you for the real world. And if you go out into the real world and you're not being taught about what's actually out in the real world, it's going to be really, you know, overwhelming. And I think that's how a lot of people go out into the world with, you know, a lot of ignorant thoughts or a lot of prejudice, because they just weren't taught it and they don't know any better, which is really unfortunate. But if we could teach the next generation or the next generation about, you know, what's actually out there and who's actually out there, I mean, it's essential. We have to teach that. And, you know, it's crazy that we're even like debating if it should be part of the curriculum. It's like, obviously, of course, you know.
For sure.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, it's crucial. I think it's crucial.
Again, it just kind of boils down to, you know, visibility for a community that needs it. And, you know, we have so many different colors and voices within just this one community, that it's obviously still just very important to hear those voices. And especially, I just think in the school system, it's very important. And I feel like school now is like so different from when I was in like middle school or high school or anything like that. We didn't know. I learned nothing. I learned nothing about that. And I just feel like yes, right now it's a more open time, but again, like we've been talking about, there's always still not that open, you know. There's still a lot of work to be done. And I think that, you know, starting in the school system, I know a lot of people would have thoughts about that, where it being in the school system, but I mean, school is about education, and it's not only just education about like math and sciences, but I mean, you educate yourself on how to treat people, you know, people around you, you know, and how to hear voices and to grow and learn from other people around you. So I think it's definitely very important for school.
I think learning about treating people with respect comes much more in handy than, you know, advanced trigonometry, if I'm being honest.
Right.
So
literally.
Pretty damn
I'm like the only most of the math that we're using now is how to divide a bill and send it on Venmo. So, you know, there's that. I'm just kidding. All right, I'm going to give you your next question, babe. So your next question is, this is a big one. So you got to think about it. Was there a defining moment for you as a member of the LGBTQ community? Was there any specific defining moment for you?
I just think the biggest thing is the whole, my entire like 2.5 years of, being part of this 911 Lone Star family,
Yeah,
and again, I was, introduced to probably the most inclusive community when it comes to, filmmaking, which is the Ryan Murphy world. I don't think you could have asked for a better place to land when, you're trying to figure yourself out and trying to figure out, do I tell people about this? Do
for
I keep
sure.
it private? Do I tell my family? Do I tell my friends? And like the confidence and the comfort, and most importantly for me was the safety that I felt being in this world for 2.5 years. It was a no-brainer, and then obviously connecting with so many kids from the LGBTQ community all
Yeah,
over the world, hearing what they're going through and hearing, how the show has affected them and how TK has affected them and how Carlos has affected them. I felt like it was almost my duty as someone with a platform and a voice to be completely honest with them and to share my truth, because they need to hear it, and they need somebody to pretty much be there for them, even if it's someone through a phone screen. It's, a lot of these kids feel alone and unseen and unheard, and it's a really
yeah,
scary. I know personally what that feels like, because I was like that for a very long time. And I think that's definitely the biggest moment, hands down. And it's, it's just, I think it's just so important to be, transparent and honest with people right now more than ever, especially with the year that we just went through.
yeah,
So yeah, for sure.
yeah. Honestly, just that, I guess, at this point, like how we experience life, definitely having a much more elevated voice now is definitely so important, because you can reach so many more people
So
to
many.
really, live your truth and just, be another voice in the community. All right, your next question, my love, is, when you think of LGBTQ representation in Hollywood, what is something that comes to mind? So when you're thinking about LGBTQ representation in Hollywood, is there anything specific that comes to mind?
I think of sort of the trailblazers, that have gotten us to where we are today, and the fact that we could, even have these conversations so freely and almost, encouraged to have these conversations. The fact that we have shows like Pose, and 911 Lone Star and Love Victor, and I think I immediately think about the Ryan Murphys, the Greg Berlantes, these incredible people that create these stories that I don't think anybody else would have the courage or maybe the resources to do so. And and then within that, they're employing thousands and thousands of people
Yeah,
throughout the years, and they're employing hundreds and hundreds of people from the LGBTQ community. And, it's like we wouldn't be here without people like that, and it took them nearly 20 years to get to this kind of place, and the sacrifice and the time and the energy and all the crazy stuff that they had to go through that we have no idea about. I think about people like that, like being true trailblazers and authentic storytellers, because everybody wants to be seen and wants to be heard. And now that we can tell these stories finally with complete freedom, I think it's one of the most important things we could do right now.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Now, your last question is another big one, another big question. All right, take a sip. We're gonna do. We're gonna go just down to the comment section before we do our before we do, I want to thank everyone, obviously, for logging on to chat with us today before we wrap up. Thank you guys for all of the love in the comment section. Thank you guys for joining us for our happy hour. We hope you're having fun. We hope you had fun last week, next week, this week. So we're going to do a little cheers. We're going to cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you guys, again, obviously, for joining us. We hope you're having fun and enjoying this Pride Talk. Remember, obviously, we are two voices that, you know, you guys can hear from if you're... there's a lot of you guys out there. You don't even have to be a part of the LGBT community, but I mean, as long as you're being an ally to your loved one, that's very, very what is important. And we just, I mean, I want to thank you just on my own behalf. I want to thank you guys just for listening to us today, just for listening and tuning in and being respectful of our conversation. It means the world just to have you guys here to listen, because it's all about just like listening and learning to the voices, you know, especially during Pride Month. I mean, it's important all year round, but definitely during Pride Month. All your respect to just the voices of the community. We really appreciate it. So cheers to you in our happy hour. And we have our last question.
I also would like to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
In regard to Glisten, I would like to match, if we could get it up to $500, I would love to match $500 and send $1,000 to Glisten immediately.
That'll be amazing.
So if you guys would be willing to, even once the live is over, if we reach $500, I would gladly match $500 and send $1,000 to Glisten.
That's amazing of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and this will be saved to the page, and as well, we have more information about Glisten. It will be in the Fox TV stories, and also if you guys are following me on Instagram, my Instagram is at Ariel Versace. Every time I post about these live videos, I have the fundraiser linked there as well to donate. So again, anything you guys can do, it's just a big help. Especially it's for the kids. And that means the world. Especially obviously how we were just talking about education, and during Pride Month, it's very, very, very important, and that's very beautiful. Thank you for doing that matching donation. So if you guys, anybody that can donate, we really do appreciate your patronage towards the cause. Thank you. All right, so I would go ahead. We're going to do our last question. Then we'll just do a kind of little fun 5-minute wrap up after that. So your last question, again, this one's a little bit of a big one too. What is your hope for the future of diversity and inclusivity in Hollywood? So just what is your hope for, you know, it doesn't have to be maybe long-term future, short-term future. Just what is your hope as far as diversity in Hollywood?
So easier said than done, obviously, but
yeah. Right.
I really hope that we could get to a place where it's normalized and that it's almost like second nature, you know, and whether it's, you know, yeah, I mean, across the board, I just wish we could get to a place where it's just part of the industry, where there's no thought to it. It's just like, yeah, of course we should hire people like this.
Yeah.
And you know, it's going to take a lot of work, but we're definitely doing all the difficult work right now, and we have been doing all the difficult work to get to where we are. And again, it's like, you know, I really highlight shows like Pose, because Pose would have never gotten made 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. You know what I mean? 10 years ago, you would have been excommunicated from the industry if you did something like that. So I just wanted to, you know, I wanted to get to a place where it's normalized, where stories like TKs are normalized and we see it more often, where we see stories like Pose more often and it's normal, and we see stories like Love Victor more often and it's normal. So yeah, and I think we'll get there. I mean, I think that's a big thing that we're fighting for. And then just, you know, just to be treated equally, you know, and have equal opportunity and you know, obviously equal pay for women. I can't believe we're still arguing over that. And it just everything, you know, I just want it all to be normalized, and I think we'll get there. We just got to continue the super hard work, but it's worth every second for sure.
Yeah. It just all boils down, again, it's just the whole visibility and awareness factor. And I really think that that is, from my own personal standpoint, I really just think that is what is most important during Pride Month, is not just the fact, you know, yeah, of course there's the pride parades, which are amazing, and there's pride parties and everything like that. But I think that the main takeaway from Pride Month is, yeah, it's only 1 month out of the year, but I just think it's amazing that there is a time where we can get so much more visibility to the community. And I know it's only a month, but I think that at this point, it's so important, and it's what we need, just to remind everyone again that there are these voices that need to be heard. And again, like you were saying, you know, you haven't seen a whole lot of bisexual actors or characters on the screen. And again, just from you coming on here and talking about it, there's probably so many people in the comments section that relate to it, that you're just making their day. And, you know, you're making them feel, it's just about making people feel validated in the skin they're in. And I think that that's something that's really, really important about this month.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And you know, that's one of my biggest reasons of coming out, you know. And I told Variety when I did the whole interview, I said, listen, if we were living in this, you know, kumbaya utopian world, I don't know if I would have been public. You know, I'm actually a pretty private person, you know, but like there is so much work to be done, and there's so many people that need to be validated and seen and heard and feel safe, that it's like, it's the least I could do, you know what I mean? And hopefully we get to a place where it is totally, you know, utopian, but I mean, it's a long ways from now.
For sure, for sure. Well, I just want to thank you for coming on, taking the time and coming on this live today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope your drink was fantastic. I hope you liked my glittery clavicles. Thank you guys. Thank you for answering all the questions so honestly and being here to talk to everybody. It means the world, obviously, for all of the commenters. They love you. So thank you for tuning in.
Thanks,
and
guys.
being unapologetically you. Before I'm going to pause my chill music. Before you head out, is there anything else you just want to say, you know, to the comment section, or just in general about you or Pride Month or the show, anything like that?
I mean, they know I talk to these beautiful people every single day. I love you guys. Thank you, you know, for the constant support. I see we're already almost at $400. So, you know, you guys are very, very, very dedicated. So thank you. And then thank you for having me on. And it was such a pleasure.
No, of course, it was a pleasure. All right, well, everybody, we're going to say bye. Everybody, to say goodbye, I want everybody to comment a lovely rainbow in the comment section. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in today. I'm going to hang around a little bit after this conversation just to give you the information on Glisten again, and hopefully we can reach our $500 goal for the day. That would be amazing. That would put me, I would sleep lovely tonight if that would happen. And again, I want to thank you for that very generous offer. That's very beautiful. And of course, it means a lot for this organization and, you know, just the school systems that they're helping. So thank you. Thank you for that. All right, to everybody, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your lovely cocktail and have a good Thursday. And everybody, make sure you guys are always tuning in. Bye, my love.
Bye.